And now, more Utalk. Now.
I'm Steve.
I'm Katie.
Katie, what's our topic?
We are talking about fear and what you're afraid of.
Yeah, if you've got something you're afraid of, let us know. We're going to be talking about that and actually talk about some solutions. Katie, people have all kinds of crazy fears. I mean, there's like all these phobias like spiders and snakes, and I don't like either one. In fact, I just saw something recently where somebody said they found a spider as big as their hand in their house.
Oh.
I got big hands, so I hope it wasn't quite that big. But you don't like spiders, I don't think. And what about snakes?
I can tolerate spiders, but I can absolutely not do snakes. Like, I will freak out if I see a snake. Like, a couple of my friends have, like, snakes as pets when I'm scrolling through, like, social media, and I freak out when I see the photo. I freak out when I see them on TV. Now, huge spiders freak me out. If they're little, I can tolerate them, but, big ones, like, no.
You know what? I read a crazy story about this businessman. He's an insurance executive, and his fear is of a big kind of innocuous hand in the sky that's going to come down and pick up his car and sweep it off. So the only way he can fight that fear, he keeps his window rolled down, doesn't matter what the weather is, puts his left hand out and puts it on the roof of the car, drives with one hand, and that keeps this hand from coming down and grabbing him.
That's got to be really uncomfortable. Your arm would get tired.
That's bizarre to imagine. It's snowing outside, it's raining outside, it's windy outside.
It's like, does he wear a little shield, so it doesn't hit him?
Well,
just a hole with his arm?
He could go get one of those little plastic shields now because if he had to turn or whatever. And I don't know what he does if he has to signal. And hopefully he's not driving a stick shift. I don't know. Have you heard any stories weird like that?
Yeah, what about the lady that only left her house 3 times in 30 years because she was afraid of going outside?
Whew. I guess she'd be fine right now then, with...
Yeah, she'd be totally happy right now.
Yeah, really, she would be cool with that. All right, share with us one of your fears.
One of mine is probably very similar to a lot of people's, which is fear of public speaking. I know you probably wouldn't think that with what we do, but yes, fear of public speaking. With
your pageant work and Utalk and all of this other stuff, you're afraid of public speaking? What are you afraid?
I just don't like talking in front of people. I guess it's like a fear of, I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say the wrong thing. They're going to laugh at me. I'm going to get sick. I don't really even know where that fear comes from. I just know that I don't like doing it, and I always get nervous every time I have to do it, and I'm always nervous through doing it still, but I make it through. So it's like the reality, like once you're up there, you're like, okay, this really isn't as bad as I thought, and my expectations were way worse. I thought everyone was going to laugh at me, and they were going to boo me. And
somebody in our audience is saying, "Oh, definitely as well." And what's funny? I guess this wasn't the one I was going to share, but I'll share another one. I used to be afraid of that too. I guess it just didn't click with me until you were talking. I used to feel comfortable and safe sitting behind my drums. Don't ask me to get out and speak. Don't ask me to put me behind a kit of drums. I'm safe. I'm good. I have no fear. I have courage. I'm going to rock the place. But I'm not like that anymore. Obviously, sometimes people go, hey, shut up, man. You talk too much. But you know what my fear was? It started when I was 10 years old. We were living in Northern California. My parents wanted me to learn how to swim. Neither one of them could swim. So they take me down to the local high school, and they pay for these lessons, swimming lessons. And the instructor said, can you swim? And I said, no, you can't swim. Well, we want to see how well you swim. So they throw me into a diving.
Oh, that is not a good way to learn.
No, and I'm going down once. I'm going down twice. And 3 times they finally picked me up. And it was years before I would put a foot in the pool, before I would go more than just a foot or two, in the ocean or go into a lake. I've conquered some of it now, but I'm still not really comfortable. I'll get in the pool. I like to get wet. I'll go in the ocean, go in a lake. But, those can be very real fears with you for a considerable amount of time. So
yeah, they can.
It's about expectations. It's about what reality is. It's about not knowing, not being able to see. I mean, fear of fear of the future. And now you looked something up, I think, just before, earlier today, before the show, kind of about the top 3 fears of people in our audience for right now. This isn't in general. This is right now. What were they?
Yeah, so the top one is still the fear of contracting COVID.
Oh.
That is still the number one fear. The number one fear. And then the second fear is the fear of the future, because everything is so uncertain right now. And, you don't know if you're going back to school. You don't know, if you're going to be able to graduate on time. You don't know if you're going back to your job, which affects paying for school or paying for, fun things you want to do. And then the third one is the fear of rejection on like social medias and in person and like with dating, with friendships. So those are the top 3 fears right now.
Let's go back and unpack them a little bit. Speak to the COVID thing personally, and then we'll unpack it a little bit more in case people haven't heard about you.
Yeah, a lot of people probably haven't heard about me because I just announced it on our show last week, and I haven't made it really public yet. I did have COVID, which is like the real virus. Like, I was in the hospital 4 times for it and in isolation for it for 2.5, almost 3 months. I had it. I'm still trying to get over some of it. I still get the fevers every couple weeks, and I still have the really bad fatigue. But so that is a very real fear. I mean, I'm immunocompromised, so I was very, very afraid of getting COVID because, I mean, with immunocompromised people, you can die from it. Yeah. So I was very fortunate that I never had to be on a ventilator and, that I survived COVID. But there's a lot of people that are very afraid of that. And that's a very real fear. And it's something that you really should, I mean, in a way, you should not be afraid of it, but you should be aware and just take precautions.
Yeah, kind of a healthy there's nobody escapes this in the sense of, I mean, it's not just for one particular group. The Broadway actor that just died a few days ago.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Yeah, what was he, 41?
41.
They say now it's hitting those that are under 40 heavier than people that are older. Now, it's creating havoc in retirement homes and things like that, and the numbers are up. It's unbelievable. California, we've had a lot of high numbers. We just hit a new high, so I want to say 6,600 new cases in a day.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And like you, I would agree that I don't think we need to be unable to go out when we are allowed to in certain places and unable to do things, just be so fearful. But I think we need to be cautious. And I'm going to bring this up again, the mask. We still have people that refuse to wear it. And it's a pain. I was going to say it's uncomfortable. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, I even wear it when I'm jogging, and actually I found out from a doctor that wearing it while you're jogging, it's like training to run in a high altitude. So, you know what, but wear it in the store, guys. Wear it where you're supposed to wear it. You don't have to wear it when you don't have to wear it. But just, it's a matter of respect. If I wear it, I'm respecting you and others, Katie. And if you wear it, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Other people, and we may not have it. Fortunately, I have not gotten it yet. I hope I don't get it. But I also don't want to be a carrier and not even know it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest percentage of people that actually are test positive are the carriers that have no symptoms. And that's why it's spreading so quickly, because all these thousands of people have it, but they don't know they have it. So everyone they come in contact with is getting it. So it's like they're still saying the simplest things. When you're around other people, wear your mask, stay 6 feet apart, and wash your hands all the time.
It's somebody that's in our audience tonight saying that, people make fun of us, those of us that are wearing it. You know what? Let them make fun, because if somebody make fun of me with a mask on, than me having to have a ventilator, because a ventilator, as you and I had talked a few days ago, I mean, you're talking permanent damage to lungs. Not the same, but so, it's kind of a bullying thing a little bit. I know I had some people give me a hard time because I was up at a lake and I had the mask on. Hey, Steve, don't you know you don't? No. our governor, like it or not, says in public, wear a mask. A lake is public,
Yep.
A lot of people there and stuff. So that is a tough one. Of course, I'm a big guy, so there's not a lot of stuff that phases me. I just, look at somebody and laugh it off and say, well, you know what, still going to wear the mask. So it is a real thing, but people don't let it consume you. For those of you that may have lost a loved one, I'm sorry. I have no words. It's got to be a horrible thing. I know several people besides you that have had it. In fact, their whole families have had it.
Mm-hmm.
Road to recovery, thankfully. But let's be respectful. Okay, let's unpack that second one. It has to do with the future.
Yeah, a lot of people are afraid of the future right now. Well, with everything so up in the air and everything so uncertain, I mean, that's a logical, legitimate fear.
It truly is. And I mean, when you don't know, I mean, they're still squabbling now. Are we going to open schools or are we not going to open schools? And am I going to have to stay home? And do everything online? Do I get to go to class? Do I get to go to so many classes and then there's, only a few days? I mean, it is so up in the air, and it's become a hugely political thing, it's just caught it. This whole COVID thing really is become a very political thing, but it's a very real thing. And then fear of the future. Am I going to miss my graduation like my older sister did? And for those who are here from another country, there's an order, I think, that's been put out now that if they are attending a school that is not going to open its doors for in-person classes, for online classes, they have to leave the country. That's a hard thing.
That's a very hard thing.
And such a sudden thing in a sense, because it's not something that they were planning for. I don't think it's something that the government was planning for. I mean, this whole thing is so new, really. I mean, only a few months old. It seems like it's been going on forever. But what about fear of the future will anything ever be normal again?
Yeah, a lot of people are saying this is the new normal. Like they're saying we're never going to go back to normal and we just have to get used to that. And that's a very weird concept for a lot of people.
Crazy. The mask thing, I've traveled, this, I've traveled in, I don't know how many countries, it doesn't matter. But I've been in countries where it's normal to wear a mask, at least in certain cities and certain places. That could become the new normal, and that is kind of fearful. It's like, is that really the future I want? But better to wear, I hate to say this, better to wear a mask than to have the ventilator or not be alive or be transmitting this disease. But you don't know. Concerts, I love music. I am a musician, and I haven't played any gigs. I don't have any gigs lined up to play. In fact, I can't even teach right now. But, it's just a weird time. Am I ever really going to be able to go to a party? Dances at school, football.
Yep.
Oh, I love going to high school football games. It's just because I just love energy, and are we ever going to get to do that? Professional sports are saying now, I just got an invitation from the San Francisco Giants to have a cardboard cutout of me in the stadium.
Seriously?
Yeah, $99 is all it takes. Take the picture. I get to pick the seat, and I'm there for the Giants home games. It's like, this is bizarre.
The new normal. That's funny.
Whoever thought about that? It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. It's restaurants being closed. One of our about that. They reopened, and now some of them are having to close. And who knows what? With stuff spiking as much as it is, this craziness is. It's being curbed in other countries, and it's actually falling down and getting a little bit better. It's not normal yet, but in the States, it's on the way up.
Yep.
I want to say 30 plus states. I might be wrong, but that is something. When you think about the future, that can be fearful. But is that a faulty expectation? Is that something? Is that really reality? And how does that affect the way we live, the things we do, our relationships? But you nailed another one, which I think is interesting. It's one that seems like it's always with us, but it's really prominent right now with social media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the fear of rejection and people, not being popular on social media, and that is a form of rejection because people aren't liking your photos, people aren't commenting on them, people aren't watching your lives, people aren't watching your videos. And then it's like the same in the it's also really in the dating world as well right now for our audience. It's the fear of being rejected by their dates and going on online and not like anyone liking their profiles on the dating apps and
how do you a situation like this? I mean, it's like,
right?
Hey, send a message, get a cup of coffee or get a Coke, whatever. Okay, and I'll get one and a slice of pizza. Okay, and then we're gonna Zoom it, we're gonna FaceTime it, we're gonna whatever. Is that like the new normal of dating? I mean,
yeah, that's the new normal of how you see your friends, how you date, everything.
Yeah, no, I was with a group of friends. I think there was 5 or 6 of us, and the idea was go out and get Chinese takeout and come back, and then we Zoomed it, and here we're eating away, chatting, and I think 2 or 3 people were in Canada, 2 of us were in the U.S. It was actually kind of fun, but it was just, you wonder, is that the new normal for dating? And the rejection, why is it that we are so consumed with rejection? That's a tough one. I mean, it cuts deep when you feel like, you're comparing yourself. And that's what it is. It's comparison, and the whole dating app thing.
That whole fear of rejection is a whole nother show and topic because it really has a lot to do. I mean, there's a lot of, you're not comfortable with yourself. You're not, you don't like yourself. You're not confident in yourself. I mean, there's so much that has to do with that. So someone said there, explain why you have a fear of going to see your mom. Explain that one. That's an interesting one to talk about.
I guess it depends upon the relationship you have with your mom. Or is your mom sick and you don't want to see your mom that way? Or does your mom not support you? Is your mom just weird? And it's like, I'm not sure I want to be around her. That's an interesting question. I'd like to know why, what the circumstances are, because that is a very, being around any family member, really, it's not something in the audience that says my mom's been sick all her life. So that's
a hard one to see your mom in the hospital and not doing well. And if they have tubes connected to them, that's a hard thing to see. Oh,
it's a very, very hard thing to see. I was fortunate. My mom is no longer with us, but I was fortunate. I had a crazy fun mom, who I think sometimes my friends came over to the house because she was there and not for me. And the weirdest thing, I don't know if I should say this or not, but I remember before I could drive, this buddy and I wanted to go to a concert, and we wanted to double date, and so I asked Mom if she would drive. We didn't know she got a ticket, so she's sitting in the middle, my date's sitting on this side, my friend's date's this side, he's there, and I'm here, and the 2 girls are talking to Mom the whole time. It's like, come on, Mom, this is not...
That's funny.
But, at least my friends liked her, but that's an interesting thing to have to deal with. Rejection is, I guess it comes down to respect, too, and treating others the way you want to be treated. And sometimes I think we treat somebody disrespectfully because we don't like ourselves.
Yep.
How do we deal, practically speaking? We came up, I cannot claim originality for this because I got it from my pastor, but I like this little acronym he put together for fear. And what he does is F is for faulty, E is for expectations, A is for about, and R is for, do you remember, Katie?
Reality.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So acronym is faulty expectations about reality. It's really a great tool to have, and I hope this will help you guys. With COVID, faulty expectation. You may or may not get COVID. But do everything you can to stay healthy, to stay safe, follow the rules, even though you don't agree. A lot of people don't, even though it's kind of confusing because you hear one person say this and somebody else do this. Kind of go shoot down the middle and say, hey, what makes the most sense? What is the best for my health? And the reality is you may not hopefully end up getting it, or at least from it. I think you told me, Katie, that a lot of people have it anyway, but they don't show the
Yeah, they're saying by the, next year, everybody's going to have been exposed and they're going to have had it in one form or another, whether it was just a mild runny nose and a sore throat to, having the ventilators to the in-between like I had.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, it's okay. Now, let's jump ahead to fear of the future. Okay. Faulty expectations. We don't know what the future holds.
No.
So for us to be fearful about it, fear it's kind of like a chain, really. It holds you back. We can't change yesterday. We can change tomorrow based on the way we live today. So we have to be careful and don't jump to conclusions, I guess, is what I would say. Consider, because we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So live in the moment, plan ahead, but don't lose sight of what's happening now. And the reality is, I don't think anybody knows.
No, nobody knows what's going to happen.
They don't know what's going to happen when. So, and then as far as the rejection with social media, faulty expectations. In some cases, we don't even know if that person is real.
Yeah, so you have to remember. I mean, most people. The people that look like they have the perfect lives on social media, that they're always on vacation, they're always going on extravagant trips, they're always, drinking the best drinks and wearing the top-notch brand clothes and shoes. They're putting on an act because that is not their real life. That is not reality. Like, that is definitely, yep.
Reality, because it's not true. Yeah, that's the problem, is you can become the perfect person on social media.
Well, you can go as far as like renting yachts for a day to take photos on and look like you went on an extreme vacation. You can rent jets to take photos on for 2 hours and make it look like, you went on some cool trip.
You can rent friends. You can rent friends,
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad that somebody would go to that, that extreme. I mean, with the yachts and with the nice cars and friends, and you can rent clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so you don't know what's behind the facade, because it very well could be a facade, but it still hurts. Let's just be real. It still hurts when you feel like you're being rejected. So I guess something to consider is the people you spend time with.
Yep.
Line, or it's very limited face to face right now. What do they do for you? Do they bring out the best in you? You're online on a dating app or whatever. Are you looking for somebody who's got it seemingly all together? Or are you looking for somebody who's the best for you because they bring out the best in you?
Yep.
To think about, it's a very real fear, and to just throw that out is as it's no big deal. We know for a fact it is. It's a very important thing. And we want to remind you in the audience, please reach out to us. If you're hurting, if you're fearful about the future, you're concerned about COVID-19, if you feel like you're just getting, chewed up and spit out in social because people are picking on you, you're being rejected, you don't have all the likes, and reach out to us. Would you, Katie, how do they do that?
You can send us direct messages on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. You can text the word Utalk with your whatever you want to tell us to 411-247. You can go to our website, utalkradio.com, and you can there's a contact tab on there. You can reach us through that way. They can call us. What's the number they can call?
It's 855-508-UTALK. So pretty simple to remember, 855-508-UTALK, and that's the letter U, T-A-L-K. Please reach out to us. Don't sit there alone. Don't sit there beating yourself up. Don't sit there in just prison of fear, worried about COVID or something else. We're here for you. Utalk is all about you talking to us. So please reach out to us. Let us know what you're feeling. We are here for you. Hang in there, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody.
This is Utalk Radio.